So Java is object-oriented program because of the data types that they contains. So that is why they regarded as object-oriented programming. So when talking about object-oriented programming, it said is a programming pattern that is based on the concept of object, which can be thoughts of an instances of a class. So some of the concepts of the object-oriented program that we have is the classes and objects, so in which we've talked about that earlier on. So today we are going to discuss the other concept, which is the abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance, and polymorphism. So when talking about the encapsulation, so generally encapsulation deals with the when you want to hide something, when you want to hide a certain attribute from others not to have access to it. So that is the main job of the encapsulation. So we say it is a fundamental concept in object programming that refers to the practice of keeping an object's internal state and behavior hidden from outside world. So it also refers to the practice of keeping an object's internal state and behavior hidden from the outside one and exposing the public interface and interacting with the object. For instance, so example of an encapsulation is, so for instance, this when you want to encapsulate something in an attribute in a class, so what you just have to do, you just have to make it a private. You have to make the property a private, the access. So the access identifier is going to be a private. So that is just the main thing you've done, so that another class will not have access to it. Only the method within the class will only have access to those attributes. So I don't know if I'm communicating.
Yes.
So for instance, we said this private string name, private. Since if you did not put private there, automatically it's a default. So it is actually a default or a public. So but once you put it to private string name, private int 8. So it's already explained that okay, these properties can't exceed within this class person. So if you create any method, so only the method within that class can have access to the attribute. So the other thing you can make other that you if you want to make other people outside the class to see it, then they will make use of getter and setter. So that is when other outside class will have access to it. So for instance, we said after creating the constructor here, after creating the method, you can see this is set name, this is get name. So for instance, when you start the project, where we entered a real life project, so you understand this better because you want to write a code. The set means that okay, you are setting this name into the database. Then the get name is going to do what? You can see that the set return void. So why the get name return the string? Because you are going to pass a name to it. So it is that get name that the client or users that is interacting with the front end is going to write. Assume okay, my name. I said Olasukomi. So it's going to get that Olasukomi and set it with this one. So that is really what that is the function of that set and get. Because if you do not put set and get to it, you won't be able to make use of it because the the attribute it's in private, it has been encapsulated. So that's why the hidden class can be, that's why I commented the hidden class can be exposed using the getter and setter. And also if you create something, okay, let me just add something to it. Let me add another property to it. So I wanted to add another property. So I said private string address. So from here now, you can see that okay, this private string address it has been encapsulated. But if you want to write, if you want it to have access outside the class, then you make use of the getter and setter. We can see we have the set name, we have the get name. For each attribute is going to have its own set and get. So for the age now, we also have the set age, and we also have the what? The get age. So what we just did here is just like, okay, You said if age is less than 0, then should cannot be negative. So it's just throw a response that cannot be negative. That's when it is just optional, like if, so that anybody that wants to write its age, so it's going to take care of it. So when you set it, it won't accept it into the database. But you understand that very well when we started the real project. So the
Okay.
because if you did not put the setter and getter, the attributes will not exceed the class. So
Sorry, the
it won't,
attribute will not exit the class. Is that what you said?
yes, it won't leave the class. You won't be able to you won't be able to have access to it outside the class unless you put the setter and getter. So that will make the attribute exposed.
So now, from what you're telling me now, the setter and getter it enables the attribute to be accessed from outside of the class.
Yes.
Oh, what? Okay.
Yes, it enables to have access outside the class. So this, you can see this private string address. If you want to have access to other class, it won't, you won't have access to that address. So let me just try.
Can you scroll down, please? I want to quickly write this one that you have. Can I quickly write this one you have?
Okay.
Yes, please. Can you scroll up? Let me quickly write.
So also there is another way you can just right click. You know the way you did the constructor the other time. So once you
Yeah.
right click, you can generate the setter and getter. You can see once you click generate,
Okay.
so you can see getter and setter. So you can see
Oh.
that it's already less for the address. Once you click OK, it's going to get it for you. So without you
I
typing
just
it
need
one
to
after the other.
understand the concept very
Yeah,
well. It's
yeah,
not about, it's about understanding the
yes.
concept very well. Uh-huh.
So can we continue?
I'm almost done. 1 second.
All right. I thought once they upload the video, you also have access to it.
Okay, we can continue. We can continue.
All right, no problem. So that's just the explanation about the encapsulation. It's what is just to hide the attribute so that it's going to be within the class, but if you want to expose it to make use of the getter and setter. So that's what the main function of the encapsulation. That is what it does.
Can we do other examples, please? Can we do like one or two more examples from the start, not the one you've done already? Let's
Yeah.
read together so that
Okay.
I think it would be better for me if we.
Have a class, school.
Yes, let's start from the scratch. Yes. Okay.
So after this, now, okay, you say what are the properties for school? Say, okay, maybe private string, name of the school, private string, the address, private string, what does, okay. We say classrooms. So now, after writing it out like this, you already did what? You already encapsulate it. So
Okay,
now,
so sorry. So now that we have declared that the class is private, the attributes private,
yes,
we have encapsulated,
yes,
right?
yes.
Okay.
So now you want it to have you want the class to, okay, now let me create another one, another class. So now the reason why I created this class was that, I already have the class school. So I can't
Okay.
have access to all those attributes. So now if I did what? If I put the getter and setter, if I generate the getter and setter to it, you should be able to have access to those methods, to the attributes. This is it. It has already created the getter and setter for me. So let me go back to the info.
No, you are trying to confuse me now. Go back up, please. Let me see.
This
Let's
is
go
what
back
I
up. The
okay. We
school
should go back to the school, right?
class. Yes. I don't think we
Yeah.
should generate these things. I need to understand it because generating, I don't know what you have done. I need to
Oh,
understand it. Yes.
okay,
I don't think we
okay.
should
That's what
generate.
you are trying to say.
Yes, because
Okay, no, okay, we'll do
of
that.
course we can generate it, but I need to understand it. So if I don't understand it and you just generated it, then I still don't understand what we are
Okay,
doing.
this is what we did. This is private string name, the string address, and the classrooms. So we are trying to expose those attributes so that we can make use of it in other classes. Because if you did not expose it, you won't be able to make use of it outside the class, but you only be make use of it inside the class. So what you first did just like, okay, we have the set and get. So that's the first thing you have in mind. And the set will return void. While the get will return the data type that is already in the attribute.
Sorry, can you slow down? I'm trying to jot what you're saying. The set to return void.
Void. Why
Mhm.
the get will return the data types that is already in the attribute. So from there, you make the method a public one because you want it to be exposed to other classes. So now you want to write the set first. So we said public void. What are we setting? We are setting the name. set name, then you put what? The argument, which is string name. So when you create the method, then you make use of the this keyword. This dot what? The name equals to what? Name. So you've already set it like that. So now the next one, just like you want to set the get as well. So I said that one will return the data type, which is string, data type of the attribute. Then make use of what? Get name. So since it's returning void, there's no need for you to put any argument inside it. Then it's going to do what? Return the what? The name. So that's all.
So now, is it that it is when we now want to access these attributes from info class?
Yes, that's what we want to do now.
Okay.
So now I'm going to comment this name so that you know that we won't be able to have access to that name in that info class. I don't know if I'm communicating.
But I thought that you are saying that now that we have the setter and the getter,
Yes,
we can access them in the
yes,
info
we
class.
can have access in the info. What is and same times I want us to do it in a way that okay, so that you can see that we won't be able to have access to anyone that we did not make use of the setter and getter for.
Okay, I get you now.
That's why I said I want to comment the name.
Okay.
So now let's go dot reset set. You can see that we can only see the classrooms and the address.
Mm-hmm.
So if we said get, you can only see the what? The classrooms and the address. Because the name has been encapsulated, it cannot be used outside the class. Do you understand now?
Yes.
So now, just let me uncomment it back, and you can see that we'll have access to it. You can see that we have access to it back.
Yes.
So that is the encapsulation. But if you want to have access to it outside the class, then you make use of the getter and setter. That's all about encapsulation.
Okay.
Yeah. So the next one. So this is one of the examples of the encapsulation. That this class bank account. So private double balance. So it means the private double balance we can't use outside the class. We can only interact it within the class with the method you created. So that's just the main thing. That's
Are
what
you
it
going to
does.
send these slides? Are you going to send these slides?
Yeah, no problem. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, so that someone can go through it. Okay, I understand this encapsulation.
Can I add something?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so in the getters and setters, they also call them accessors. So like this example now, this particular example that is on the, you cannot access it. It's used for like, it's used for what was it called? Protecting your data. So once you don't have a set method, there's no way you can change any parameter or any field or attribute or whatever you want to call it. There's no way you can change the balance. But once you have a set method, once you have a set balance method, then it can be changed either ways. Do you get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
the only way you can like add to the balance is when you call a deposit method. But if you have a set method, you can just set balance. Anybody can just set their account balance to whatever whatever amount they like. Do you get? So setters and getters, setting is to be able to change the value to make it to make the object mutable, while getting is just to get the value that you have in your object. The main thing in the class is the attributes. Those are the name, the whatnot, and all that. Imagine you have defined an object and then somebody can just come and then say set name and then just change the name of the object. That's not very good in terms of privacy or data protection. So you get, so that's the main purpose of getters and setters. That's just, I know I just said no. I just felt like chipping. Oh, sorry
Thank you so
about that. Yeah, the generate just makes it less verbose. Like it just makes it, you save your, imagine being able to generate all those. Imagine I have like 10 classes to write and you can generate them. It makes it less, it saves time for you. Sure, you get, instead of you typing all those things out. But I get that you want to get what is happening first before they
Yeah.
say, oh, you are generating and you don't know what is going on. Sure, you get, I understand that part. So yeah. But I'm just telling you that to save yourself time, just generate it. There's nobody
Mhm.
will arrest anybody. All right.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Baba. The next one is an
Mr. Scum, we
interface.
can proceed. Sorry.
Okay. So the next one is the interface. So we said an interface is a collection of abstract methods. The abstract methods are methods without a body that define a contract for classes to implement. So it is a way to specify what a class should do without specifying how it should do it. So one thing about this interface is just like where you can just write a method. It is just a marker class. The marker class in the sense that you can only just write the methods, the abstract method. So abstract method in the sense that so you won't implement any logic inside it. So it is just you are just going to write just methods alone. So for instance now, so let's say shape. This is an example of what is an interface class. This is an example of abstract method. This is an example. It is just going to be empty. So my side okay, and its identifier is going to be public. So you can say double get info. So we said go double get info. So all this one is just a method. But if you want to implement the method, you can just come here. You can see now because I've read. So we are going to do another example that you will see. So just listening about this one, of course. So you can see it said implement the method because I've added another method to it. So this is what it does because the empty method without the logic inside it. So it is the interface class. But once it is an abstract method. But once there is a logic inside it, so it is no more an abstract method. It has become non-abstract method. So now I want to create one example now. What should I call it though? And give me one name of class I should use.
We can use um mm, word count.
What is it?
Word count. Word.
Okay, word count.
Yes.
So now you want to represent as an interface class. So the
Mm-hmm.
interface class is just the place where you will keep all the methods that you want to implement. You can say, okay, public, I don't want to put public void. And say, okay, get word. So this method is just like, okay, this is the method I want to work with. All this method, you are not going to implement, you are not going to write any logic here at all. So the other things then say, okay, void. If it is string that you want to return, and just okay, string the name of method. I said, okay, get info. So this is another method. This is another abstract. They are called abstract class. Next one, I said, okay, void get total number. They are marker class. They will not contain the logic aspect. You can only keep your methods there. So, and you can implement an interface class. So this word counts. Now we want to create another class that we want that class to implement the interface class word count. Do you understand?
Yes.
So we create this Java class. Just said okay. Just put in message. That word. This class. So we want it to do what? We want it to implement the word count, which is an interface class. So then you just write implement word count. So with this, it will enable us to have access to all the methods inside the word count. We are seeing this red arrow because it's telling you that okay, it must either be declared abstract or implement abstract method get word in word count. So all the methods that is inside the word count is what we want to implement. So instead of you writing it one after the other, checking the word count, okay, I have get word, I have get info. So just once you said okay, you want to implement it, the IntelliJ will have bring the idea and go, okay, implement methods. Do you understand? So once you click the implement method, it's going to ask, is it everything or anyone that you want to know? So okay, let's say everything. Yeah, okay, you can see. So then you begin to write your logic. So once you started writing your logic here, it has become a non-abstract method. So the abstract method is only, you are going to see only the methods, not the logic. So it's one of the advantages of this interface class that it beautifies the work. It beautifies work and it makes work neat. Because if once you interact with something, you will have said, okay, how many methods did I need? You create an interface class, you put all the methods here, then you create where you want to write your logic, then you implement the interface class. So that's the work it does. I don't know if you understand.
Yes, I do.
So that's it. Okay, maybe from here you want to write any logic, okay. Always starting, you want to print something, so okay, this is what it does. That's what it works out. Okay, it is only a place where you can just create all your methods. That's the work of the interface class, nothing else. So for instance, here I create a square. I implement the word shape because the shape is an interface class, which has how many methods? Just the get area, get parameter, get input. So from here, so it's going to put all the method and you start writing your logic inside it. That was the example about that. I don't know if Mr. Femi, you have some input to it. Are you there?
I'm here.
No, not you. I'm even talking about Mr. Femi, who's going to have some input to
Oh,
it.
okay.
Oh, okay. Please, can you go back to the code?
Okay.
Okay,
The
so
interface class, right?
interface, yeah, the interface, yeah. Anyone. Okay, so an interface is just like a contract in terms of like you have to honor that contract if you are implementing the interface. Do you get like the class that will implement the interface has to honor the contract? All those methods, it has to like call all this method and maybe more. Like it can have its own method on its own, but once you say you want to implement this interface, then you have to honor this. You have to have it, or you have to have a method that honor all this um you have to have a method that honor all these methods in the interface. You get all these abstract method. So the thing is, why people use interfaces for loose coupling, so that so many things will not be tied to your you understand loose coupling when we start like Spring Boot and all that. You in Spring Boot you can implement as many interfaces as you want, because there are so many different interfaces, and maybe another class wants to use that interface. Instead of just creating different methods and all that, you can just have a contract. Okay, this one would, when I say contract interface, this one will implement this, it will honor this particular method that I need. The other one too will honor this particular method. That's the basics of the interface. Just list of methods that should be honored if it is being implemented. Yes, that's like, yeah, that's it. So sorry. Can continue.
Thank you.
So the next one is an abstract class. And we said an abstract class is a class that cannot be instantiated and is typically used as a base class for other classes. An abstract class can contain both abstract methods, which is example is the interface class. You can see methods without a body, and a concrete method, which is method with a body. So when you said abstract class cannot be instantiated, cannot implement it, but you can only extend it to a subclass. So that's the main thing. That's the work of the abstract class. The example of the abstract class, let's try. I have one here, but we will still do another one also. So this is an example of an abstract class. And the first one here is the abstract method, while the second one here is the non-abstract method. So non-abstract method, you implement your logic. For the abstract method, that's why interface class are abstract method as well. Why abstract are both abstract method and what non-abstract method. They take both. For interface class, only deal with just the abstract method. So what it does here, you can only extend it. You cannot implement the abstract class. It can only be be extended. So here now we said public abstract double the get area and public double get. This one will work perfectly, but because of the implementation of this logic inside here, so it doesn't make it an abstract. It doesn't make it an abstract method, but it makes it a non-abstract method. So yeah, this is one of the example. Said public class was the squares extend what? We create a class square, and I extended the shape because I want it to have access. I want the square to have access to that method, which is the get area that is inside the abstract class. So all these things are just like, it's more or less like what we've been working on before. So if it is interface, you make use of implementing. So if it is abstract, you make use of extend. That's just the difference. I don't know if you understand.
Mm.
Where you said, what happened?
Yeah, somehow, I don't know.
No, let me
Somehow.
just try to explain again. This is an abstract class. What it does, it cannot be instantiated, but it can only be extended. You've already created a class, the abstract class shape, and I told you it has the abstract methods and non-abstract methods. Example of abstract method is the method that is inside the interface class, which is something like this. Just method that is not going to have any logic inside it. For the non-abstract method, we have logic inside it, inside the block of code of the method you created. So the abstract method is going to be empty. For non-abstract method, it's not going to be empty. Once you put the curly brace inside the method, then it is no more an abstract method. It is a non-abstract method. So the way we implemented the interface class in another class, instead of you implementing it, you just extend the class.
Oh, okay.
That's just the difference. So that's what we just did. So that you extending the class will make you have access to the methods of the abstract class inside the abstract method that is inside the abstract class. So for instance, now these shapes now. So let me just clear this. I should make it an abstract method. So it's bringing this error because you can see add method body. It's saying that I should add method body because it is what? It's not an abstract class. It is a non-abstract method. You can see, okay, add method body. Add it itself. So using IntelliJ brings more idea to your logic, and it will make the work more easier. So now if I should now add the abstract methods to it, you can see get parameter not abstract. You can see. So fine, if I should do what? I should remove method and this as well. So it's going to make it a what? An abstract class. So it makes you have access to it here. You can see it already bring the red that okay, implement this method. So but if you return it back to the way it is, it won't bring it because it won't be able to implement it. It won't be able to extend the method inside it rather. So that's just one thing about abstract. If you want to interact with it, that's where you are going to interact with it.
Okay. I get it. So how do I now access this abstract class? Like now, this public double get perimeter. How do I access this outside of the class?
Okay. The double get area and all this, like okay, maybe you want to work on this page, this side and that, and you want to bring a result outside, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then you just write your public static void name. Then you go on the class square. You can see what is the side? Let's say 2. Let's say 3. And once you said should do what squares, because they have access to the method. Okay, you get area. So and you educate it. So you can see that we have 9.0 because I said side times side. So if you want to have access to all those methods with what you've written, so you just declare the class here, then it's going to have access to it. So any input from Stephen, because once you get both idea, it will make it more sense. No, I don't think it's with us. Stephen, are you with us? Ah, okay. Do you understand?
I think I need to go over this abstract class very well. I still need to go over it so that
Okay.
I'll see how, if I want to access it outside the class, if I want to, I'll just play around with it and see
Okay.
if I
You
would
Yeah,
understand
use.
it.
that's fine. Because
Because
sorry,
Okay,
abstract
Yaba.
classes are no, I've been here since. Abstract
Okay.
classes are, in the sense, the name as it implies, they are not real classes. They are abstract classes. They are not classes you can declare in a main class, in a main method. Like that, this abstract class now, shape, you can't declare it because it's not a real class in that sense. The only way you can access an abstract class is when you extend it to a real class, and then, which is the square, and then you can declare it. Abstract class, they are not real classes. Let's just put it at that. They are not real classes. They are just classes there for, like, okay, this is the structure of a base class, exactly what you said. This is the structure for this class that I want to extend for this real class. Or there are different types of shapes. Do you get what I'm saying? We have triangle and whatnot and all that. So you can just have a particular one that is just okay, general something. This is not a real class. This is just like a blueprint in terms of creating the shapes class and the square, rectangle, and stuff like that. Which I don't want it to be a class. I don't want my what's it called? My ID to recognize it as a class so that it can't be instantiated, it can't be called anywhere except it is extended in terms of it's extended in another class. They are just there. They don't have any function. You can't do anything with them. They're just blueprints. It's same thing with interface. They're just blueprints. They are just contracts or something like that that you just implement. You implement interface. You extend um nothing
Abstract.
abstract. So yeah, that's just it. Only that abstract you can't extend more than you can only extend one abstract, but for interface you can implement 10 interfaces. Do you get? So that's just the difference between them. Sometimes people use them interchangeably, and once you play around with it, once you are used to it in terms of using it in real life project and all that, you know when to, okay, this though I don't require an abstract class for this particular thing I'm going to do. I'll probably just require an interface, or I require interface that don't require abstract class. So don't worry. As time goes on, I don't expect you to like get it all at the same time. And when you get projects and when you do stuff with it, you understand. Even things that we might not be able to explain to you, to come to you by yourself based on the fact that you have actually studied and you played around with it. So that's how it happened for everybody. There are some things I discovered myself. They probably mentioned it, but the explanation did not really gel with me. But I discovered it by accident or by an accident, if that's the word. So that's just it. Um, by purpose, yes, that's the reward. Yes, so that's it. Sorry. Yes, can continue now.
Okay, thank you. So the last would not be the polymorphism. So polymorphism in Java refers to the ability of a single variable, method, or object to refer to multiple types of data at different times. So what polymorphism did is just like, how am I going to put it? Like when you act like you different behavior at different instances. For instance, if you are in school, you are a student. If you are at home, you are not a student. So environment in which you are will determine what exactly they are going to categorize you as. So that is really what the polymorphism does. So okay, let's say animal generally. So if you see a dog bark, then you know, okay, this is a dog, but it's still under an animal. If you see a cat too, is behavior and all. So but everything is still categorized under animal. So different behavior at different instances. That is what polymorphism does. So this polymorphism, I will show you some examples and we'll create one so that you understand, because you might not really understand it very well at first. So that's why I said I will show you the example that I've created and we will both created one. Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. So for instance, let's say this is the parent class. This is the animal. He said, okay, you created a what? A method that makes sound. Said, okay, animal makes different sound. That is the parent class. So categories of animals, let's say, okay, we have cats, we have dog. This is cat. Now, what we are going to do is the same, it's just that we are going to extend the class animal with the same method, because the method under that class is now going to override the method in the animal. For instance, now we said this should do what? Animal make different sound with the same method name. So now they are still going to take the same method name. This is cat. It extend animal with the same method name. We said what? The sound. It makes the sound meow. For dog too, we did what? It's going to override what the method that you put inside the animal, which is the parent class. It's going to override it. The subclass is going to override. That is the work of the polymorphism here, because the class dog, as I told you, that okay, you can see it said woof woof. So it's going to do what? It's going to bark and all. It's going to act like a dog, but it's still under animal. So the animal is the parent class, while the dog and the cat are the what? The child class. So now we now created the main class. So they are going to override it. You said, okay, this is the public static void domain. You said you declare the class animal first. You declare the parent. So once you declare the parent, you do what? You instantiate, you declare the new dog, which is what? The subclass under the parent class. You did what? Okay, new dog. They said the animal dot what? Make sound. If this makes sound, it's not going to print the sound that is here. It's not going to say animal make different sound. What it's going to do is it's going to make the sound of the dog. So when you declare a cat also under the animal, it's going to make the sound of an animal. Should I come again?
Yes, please.
Okay. One thing about polymorphism, it has the parent class. So the parent class, when I said polymorphism, at least the poly is that when you act in different way, in different behavior at different instances. We have the class, which is the parent class, we called it animal. We created a method that should do what? Animal make different sound, which we all know. Then they move ahead to create a subclass, which is going to be a child class to the parent class, animal. Because what we call them generally is what? Animal. So we are going to, so the child class is going to override the parent class. Override in the sense that we said the parent class should print animal make different sound. You can see it said what? Two overrides. Two override sense that the dog override it and the cat override it. So the animal make different sound. You now said, okay, dog is going to make its own sound. So the dog will override this particular method and print its own method. The cat will override this parent method and print its own method. So that's what we did here. Okay, this is the main class. We did what? We declared the animal to be the what? the dog. So once it brings the dog, when you said animal that makes sound, instead of the animal should go and make use of the method inside the animal class. No, it's going to make use of the method inside the dog because the dog has what? Has overridden the animal class. Same thing to this cat as well. So now let's set an example and still this is still this the same animal. So we want to create another method that will override it. So which animal should we use now?
Giraffe.
You know the sound of giraffe.
Okay. Let's use lion.
You-
Now, do you know the sound of giraffe? Why you think not call animal that all of us know which one is giraffe? You put two need giraffe. Even lion sef. Okay, yeah, sure.
Said animal now. He said lion. So lion is going to extend the parent class, which is the animal, which is under animal. So one thing you are going to take note is like it's going to have the same method name. So it's going to have the same method name. So once it has the same method name, so what's the sound of lion? Nothing. What's the sound of lion?
You that chose it. You that chose it. I don't think you have not seen lion before. Why you people? Instead of people should go choose chicken or goat or they are choosing lion. They don't need giraffe. You know they. We shall know the raw. I don't know. That's the only thing I know about. So I don't know. Just put raw there or something.
So let's put it this way.
Something.
Now, so we are going to go to the main class. What we just that okay, animal equals to what? We are going to declare the new lion. The one we said the animal dot make sound. So you can see it's going to make the sound of lion. So let me try and run it. So that's just it. Try to see. Let me comment on this.
I understand it now.
Okay.
Yeah, I understand it now.
So Mr. Fem, is there any inputs? Mr. Fem,
Please, can you go back to the lion class,
okay.
the extended class? Yeah.
One thing that is important is that they are going to have the same method class, the
Okay.
method name rather.
With the parent class.
Yes. So they are going to be overriding the parent methods.
I get it clearly now.
I don't know, maybe Mr. Fem is going to have any input to it.
You said it all. I think. Yeah, that's it.
I think that's all. I need there's any link that you want to go through it and all. I think that's all on my end. So if there's any question you need to ask, or I'll just go through everything again one more time, or you will check, or
I
if
don't
there's
mind
anything.
that. I don't mind you going through because I got lost at that abstract class. I don't mind you going through everything again. Or if you want me to go through what I got from everything you taught today, and
Yes,
if you feel
yes.
there's anywhere then we can now go back to it. So, okay. So, firstly, we talked about the encapsulation. And you explained to me that encapsulation is when I don't want I want to set my 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 whatever to either private or public, or I don't no private rather. I don't want people to be able to access my class. That's when I encapsulate. I don't know if I'm right, but I'm just telling what I got. So you can stop me anywhere you think I didn't get it right. So that's
Okay.
when we encapsulate. So we started by having a class. We declared a class school, and in that class we in that class we set the attributes. We set all the attributes to private. So when we set the attributes to private, we now had another class. We now set up another class called info uh in another page rather. So we were now trying to access members of this class, members of the school class in info. So you explained that for me to be able to for us to be able to access members of this attributes in info, we had to have the setter and the getter. And that what the setter does. Sorry, were you trying to say something?
I said yes, I'm listening.
And you are saying what the setter does is that the setter makes an object the setter makes an object mutable. It makes us be able to it makes the object mutable. Then the getter um helps us to be able to get the object. So so we now set the setter and the getter for each of the attributes in this school class. That is the name, the address, and the classrooms. So we set the getter and the setter for it so that we can access these attributes in the info class. Then we went back to the info class. And when we went back to the info class, we created a new object. We created a new object in that info class. Uh, a new object called school. And doing that, we were now able to access. We were now able to access the school class that we created with this object class that we created in the info class. That is what I understood from the encapsulation and set and get. If you think I didn't get anything right, or you think there's anything you want to add to
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
yes.
You get it right. What we just did in this info class is just that we called the, the, the school class inside the info class so that we
Okay.
can have access to the attributes inside the school class. That's what we did.
Okay.
We created the info class. We called the school class inside the info class. They are in the same package and the class is public, so we can call it in other classes.
Okay. So
Yeah, that's what we did.
so for the other one, so from there we went to um
Interface.
the interface. Yes. And you were trying to explain to me that the interface is just is like an abstract is like an abstract method. The interface does not have a body. It
Yes.
does not have it doesn't have a body. It's a method that does not have any parameters inside it. And you tried to explain to me that and you tried to explain to me that for the uh for the interface um we did a okay, so we worked on something on word count. we worked on a class, on an interface class called word count. Yes. So for the word count, you told me that what the interface does is that it will have void. Wait, no, sorry, that was for setter and getter. But for this one, you said for me to access for the interface, we could have the we could have the uh, we could have the I
Could have
think
any data types,
the,
the return that's going, now, if I said this, once I said this string get info, what I'm expecting to return is string. If we said void, it's just, we are not expecting anything to return.
okay.
So if I should put integer there now, so what I'm expecting in return is the integer. If I said void, I'm not expecting to return anything. So it depends on the logic that you want to write.
Okay.
So that's what it does. So it is the logic that you put here that, okay, when you want to write this, okay, this is data time I'm expecting. So that is why I put the string there. I decided to put double get account balance. So I know that, okay, inside my main logic, what I must return is what is double.
Okay. Okay. So from what I get from this interface class now is just trying to set the data type that is going to be returned, that I expect to be returned. Is declaring the data type that I expect to be returned. Yeah. So then after that we talked about the abstract class. So for the abstract class, we looked at the shapes. We looked at the shape. Even though honestly, I did not understand this abstract class.
No, the abstract. Okay.
So let's move to polymorphism.
No, you understand now. What the abstract class does, it's just that it can be instantiated, but can only be what? Be extended. Extended is more or less like you implementing like the interface class. You only write your methods at same thing like the abstract class. Like, you understand the meaning of abstract. So,
Yes.
so that's what it does. You only write it is, let me tell you, sometimes you might say that, okay, you don't want to make the abstract, you might make use of the interface class. So once you just do the abstract class, you can see it did the work similar to what the interface class. What we just did, that we created an abstract class shift. So the what you just did, okay, then you extend it instead of you saying that you want to implement, you extend the what? The abstract class shape, so that you will be able to have access to the what? The method inside the shapes.
Okay.
So it's just like the way you have access to the total word, we have access to when we implement the word count. You can just set public class total word extend shapes.
Okay.
So it's going to have access to the method inside the what? The shapes, which is the subclass.
But what I want to know is, okay, so if I now want to access the class, that's where I'm getting confused. If I want to access the class,
The abstract class.
kind of a class, yes, that's where I'm getting confused because I don't know. My mind is not giving me anything of how.
Okay, this is where you're going to have access to. Just said what? Extend. You make use of the extend.
Can you remove all this auto-generated stuff and let's just go through so that maybe I would understand it better if
Okay.
you.
No,
Yes.
let me create another class then.
Okay.
I call it Shion.
Okay.
So now, what Shion wants to do? Shion wants to extend the abstract class shape.
Okay.
You do it. Extend shape. Shapes. You can see it brings
Okay.
what? Then that's one thing about IntelliJ. Instead of you copying the method inside this Shion class, so it's going to bring it for that, okay, implement the method and just click it.
Okay.
We have the get area and get parameter. You click what? Okay. So that
Okay.
is just it. So what we just do that, maybe you want to interact with it, then you create your own attribute. Okay, private, double, side. So then you are going to do what? You can see that automatically the IntelliJ have helped you to put what? The return type. The returns, okay, let's say 0. The IntelliJ assume that okay, it is 0. So because once you see public double, you are expecting the result to be what? Double.
Double.
So if we should put string there, so the return is going to be string. But if you put void there, so it's not expecting any return type from you. So now we created private double here now. So once we want to interact, you have to create the constructor. Like the one we did here, like the one we did in the previous class. So if you already created constructor, then you can be able to interact with that. Okay, what I want to do? Return side times.
You are confusing me now. We created a constructor double top double get area. Abi, where is the constructor created?
This is the constructor.
Is it side?
Yes, for this attribute side, so that you can have access to it, so that you can interact with it.
Okay.
That's what we did. This method here is the method we extracted from the shapes.
Okay.
So now I want to interact with, okay, return side times side. You say if it is perimeter that you want to interact with, so maybe return to, I don't know. Okay, 2 times side. So and if you want to interact, okay, maybe you want to print it, work towards, then you make use of your public static void main, which is where you declare your method declaration. So then you call the class, then you interact with the methods inside the class. So the interface class and the abstract, they did similar work, just that the interface you will implement, the abstract you will extend the class to have access to that method. If you don't need those methods, you can create your own method separately inside there.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
So we can continue, or we should. Okay, let's just say okay.
Continue. I understand now. I understand.
So same equals what? Then so automatically it's going to tell us that okay, there's attribute that we have to fill inside it. Because we've already created a constructor for it. You can say expected one argument of found 0. Say okay, 4. Then with this variable shown, you can have access to all the methods inside that class. You can see get parameter, get area. So then now say okay, I want to print it out. I say okay, show me. So get area. So once you execute it, then it's going to give you the result. So, but if you put the constructor without argument, so you won't put anything. As is 64, as is 4 times 4 times 4.
Okay.
So then, okay, you can you understand the polymorphism very well.
Yeah, very well. Yes, I understand that very well.
I think that's all about the class. And about the assignment, I will look into it, and I will need. Is there some files that they give you or that you interact with?
Nothing. No, they don't give us anything. They just give us weird assignments. Nothing. And they will tell you it's 20 marks.
I will look into it. Yeah.
It's 10 marks.
Tomorrow morning.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome.
This was a very good class. Like I'd been struggling with these concepts, but now I finally understand.
All right.
very much. I'm grateful. Thank
You're
you as
welcome.
well, Mr. Femi. Thank you so much.
I think that's all for the class.
Today, okay.
Mm.
Okay,
And
that's
the
fine.
assignment is just for you to interact with it and understand the concept very well.
Yes, I'll go through everything again now. Yes.
So once you understand this
I
very well,
have understanding already, so but I'll go through it again. Yes.
once you understand now, you writing logic to going to be more easy and all.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. God bless you.
You too.
Please don't forget my assignment.
Yeah, I'll look into it.
Okay. Have a great day, sir.
You too.
Bye.
Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
That assignment, I saw it now. Those are good enough. But that assignment, I'm not paying
What
me
did you
enough
say?
to do that. Check the assignment that she sent to you. I can't
Yeah.
help her to be doing assignment now. I only thought, if you have a problem, you should have done your own due diligence.